So the headline number 2, it's not really based on an article, but it's based on a topic that, hits really close to home, the immigration crisis in Canada.
Right.
So I recently came across a tweet from a fellow Canadian on Twitter. He's a micro influencer, not that popular, about 10,000 followers, but I thought it was an interesting tweet that he made. So this Twitter user goes by or X, whatever you want to call it, by the way. This Twitter user goes by the username of GeoEconomic10. And he was going back and forth about why Canadians need to shut the hell up about immigration, because without it, our economy would collapse. So here's the tweet that sparked, my interest. Here's what he had to say. So in 1992, the Canadian population was 27 million, and it got approximately 250,000 immigrants. That's about 0.88% of the population at the time. In 2022, the Canadian population was 39.6 million, and it got 437,000 immigrants. That's about 1.1% of the population. So the fuss about the 0.22% increase or the extra 80,000 more intake as proportion to the population. In the meantime, more than ever, immigrants are leaving, and natural birth to death rate is going into the negative. Does this guy have a point? Is he cooking? So what do you think about this, Jonathan?
Okay, well, your boy likes to do some math. He just likes to leave out some crucial components.
A lot.
He's used information to build a case for himself. I can appreciate that. I do that sometimes too. But here's a more factual representation of what's going on. So 437,000 people come into the country. I think it was 2022, right?
Yeah.
Another 600,000+ are non-permanent residents that came in. So now we're looking at actually closer to 1.1 million people. But you still have to house these people. They still have to find a way to live, right? So that's part of the problem. The next thing, 40% of those immigrants, as of 2018, came into the province of Ontario, right?
Oh my gosh, 40%?
40%, almost double every other province. So now let's do a little math. The population in Ontario is close to 15 million. And based on his numbers, that we're talking at 40%, we're talking nearly his choice on total immigration of 437. That's about how many people just came to Ontario, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That's actually, so if you look at it, that's actually more like it's about 3 to 4% in that range.
Yeah.
That's how much we increased. Now, here's the other problem. You see, he is not wrong about utilizing immigration to bolster our GDP. We've done this since World War II. This makes sense. But that was when we were bringing people in that were highly capable, trained, or they had money. They could buy their way in.
That's true.
Now we're scaling up people for the liberal agenda. So now we're bringing in a lot of refugees. And at the end of the day, I don't mind people that need asylum. I don't have anything particular against that. It's just when you're doing it at scale, right? So we're not bringing in people that are high earners. We're not bringing in people that are contributing to the economy, right? We're not bringing in people that have money. You're bringing in people that depend on the system. They are a heavy weight on the system. That's why we have encampments in Toronto now. So when this guy's saying these things like, oh, it helps bolster GDP, it does. But it's a certain type of person that has to go through, that has to meet a threshold. That's no longer in existence. And to be quite honest with you, because of like Roxham Road and a couple of other access points through Canada, I actually think that number's a lot higher. Because what they were doing is they were using New York as an asylum state. So they were shoveling 120,000 new people came to New York. And you know what they were doing? They were pushing them up towards northern New York where Roxham Road is. And they were like, even Canada, this is in the media, Canada's going, we need to keep an eye on this and start, bolstering our own borders, our own border pass areas. And then what they did was they backed off and removed all their people from Roxham Road. Like, it's not that busy anymore. I'm like, what do you mean it's not that busy? So the reality of the situation is actually a lot worse than he's saying by the numbers. It's much harder in Ontario. These people are not contributing to the GDP in the way they used to at all. And then when it comes to, refugees, there's the topic right now of bringing in people from Palestine, right?
Yeah.
And this happens everywhere, right? It's like, why are you housing refugees? What's the reason? My question is, why aren't any of the other Arab countries housing Palestinians?
That's a very good question. Honestly, you know what I've been thinking about it a lot. Like, I'm not Muslim. I'm not Muslim or anything. But what I see in that situation, I kind of think, this is my theory, just my theory, guys. No facts behind this. Just had to make that very clear. But yeah, what I think the reason why no other Arab countries have specifically, housed them as refugees is because if they take them in as refugees, plenty of people are going to leave the region, and then Israel might take the region back. And then what are they going to turn Gaza into? It's going to become Israel's Dubai. You know what I mean? That's why they're, in my opinion, that's why they're trying to flatten it.
I hear you.
Know what I mean?
I don't disagree with you to a certain degree. I think let's put it this way. I think that's their argument. I don't think that's the reality though, because here's the thing. If you've got something that's leaving a country, you can't say, oh, we're not going to house them because then they're just going to go back. No, they're not. They're going to go seek asylum somewhere else. So it doesn't, just because you deny their entry doesn't mean that they go back to the country to defend it. If they're going to stay there to defend it, they would already be staying there to defend it. Yeah. That would already be the case, right? And if you look at what's happening around the world, everybody, including Biden, is calling for a two-state solution. You can't ethnically cleanse a race of people in today's world. You cannot do it. So I hear your point, but for me, I'm just like, it's just a red flag. That's kind of all I'm pointing out. I don't really have an answer, and I don't really have anything that's too deep behind it. I just find it as a bit of a red flag. You know, we're taking in a lot of very, very capable people, and the United States is complaining about this, about taking in people that are capable in terms of like they are the military age. They don't have money, but they're capable young men that can cause a lot of damage. So they can't really contribute to the economy in any way, but they sure can fuck it up.
Yeah, and it's a huge problem. You know, you kind of like, you know, going into the state situation with the migrant crisis. Like, I think they were saying like recently in Chicago alone, not Chicago, Denver, because Denver is one of the migrant sanctuary cities.
Yeah.
They were spending allegedly, I believe it was like between $1 to $2 million a week just to house the migrants and put them up in hotels.
Bro, that's nothing.
It's getting crazy.
New York's burning $12 billion this year.
Woo!
Yeah.
$12 billion.
$12 billion.
That's crazy. And the saddest part about this entire situation is, let you as a citizen of New York or any of these states not pay your property taxes.
Yeah, bro.
Oh my gosh, you better believe the police are at your door. They're kicking you out of your house. They're seizing your property. But where is the money going to? You know what I mean?
And I'll try to wrap this all up and say why I got into sort of the refugee asylum seeker position is because when that guy is making a statement about stop complaining, these people are helping the economy, is they're actually not, because what is happening, it's happening in the States and it's happening in Canada. They come here, you house these people, and you give them a monthly stipend. You give them money every month to survive, because what the hell else can you do? So not only are they not contributing, they're a substantial burden on society. That's the truth. So that's kind of the problem with that guy's math.
Yeah, I totally agree, and that's, you know, I'm all for being humanitarian, being kind, but like we have to at a certain point we have to be real. Like Canadians are suffering. I think that's that's what this comes down to. I don't want this to come across as xenophobic or hateful, because there's nothing like that. Canada's the most multicultural country in the world, or at least Toronto's the most multicultural city. I love everybody. I have no problems with people. That's not what this is. It's about not having the critical infrastructure and not taking care of the people that are already here. That's the problem that I have. Yeah, we walk past that every day. Like, I don't remember a single time I've walked past a park in Toronto or open space that did not have a tent. And those aren't migrants; they're Canadians. So, I'm a firm believer we take care of our own first. You know what I mean? Then we can help. Take care of it. Keep your house in order.
If you like this video, make sure you check out this one right here. And if you want to watch the full podcast, make sure you check this out here.